What is the difference between NST and CTG? The principle or how you interpret the graph is same in both the things, but this is the non-stress test, non-stress test, and here stress is present. That means it is normally done in labor or after 38 weeks. Okay? And non-stress test is done after 32 weeks. Why it is not done before 32 weeks? Because the fetal heart rate variability which you are going to see in the CTG is due to the developed autonomic nervous system of the fetus, which is immature before 32 weeks. That's why you can't do CTG in a 20 weeks fetus. Okay, we normally do after 32 weeks NST, but due to immaturity, less than 32 weeks, the autonomic nervous system of fetus is immature. Okay, the basic thing in both the CTG and NST is same, but what we see in NST is baseline variability, variability, and your baseline variability and the baseline, and your acceleration and your deceleration is not seen here. Deceleration is seen in here. So here three things are seen, and here four things are seen: baseline, baseline variability, acceleration, and deceleration. These four things are seen in CTG. Later on, I will show you the CTG machine which is in labor room. There is a machine, cardiotocograph machine is there. There is a monitor, and there is paper tracing coming out through it. And there is probes. One is toco probe that is put over the fundus of the patient, over the fundus of the patient to monitor the uterine contraction. Or one is cardio probe placed over the fetal heart sound, where it is best audible, you will place that. Many times toco probe is only one, but cardio probe can be two for twin pregnancy. Okay, and it is and by the belt is there, and one more thing is there for the fetal movement. Pen like structure will be there for holding. Mother will hold this and will press whenever she feels the fetal movement or perceives the fetal movement. For the fetal movement, that small probe is there, pen like probe, and for other things, toco probe and cardio probe is there. So this is the setup of the machine. NST is normally done for 20 minutes. So they are actually the paper that is coming out of the machine, there is a speed of that paper. Normally it can be 1 centimeter per minute. Okay, you can see in different graph what is the this is the enlarged form, but I want to show you the actual. There was one tracing, but I can't find it. Maybe it will be in the department. I stored this in the this word also, but they have lost it. When you will able to see the actual tracing, then you will be able to understand what I am talking about. Speed 1 centimeter per minute means ki suppose this much is 1 minute to 60 seconds. So if 1 centimeter has two boxes, so this is 1 minute, 30 seconds and 30 seconds. Okay, so this is 1 centimeter per minute, means ki 1 centimeter is equal to 60 seconds, that is two boxes equal to 60 seconds. One small box equal to 30 seconds. Why this is important? Because when you are measuring the acceleration and deceleration, how much time it is lasting, how many beats per minute it is increasing, that's at that point you will need this. Okay, so this is horizontal, this is the time. This is the horizontal, this is showing the time, and the vertical is showing the beats per minute. The fetal heart rate is increasing or decreasing. So one small box in the vertical line, it will be showing the 5 beats per minute. One small. So 2 small means ki 10, 3 small, 15 beats per minute. Okay. Okay, and the horizontal too, if I am saying if it is 1 centimeter per minute tracing is there, speed of the graph, then you will say this one small box will be equal to 30 seconds. But different paper have different speed, we have to calculate according to that. And in the CTG, there are, this is the fetal heart rate you are seeing, this is the uterine contraction you are seeing, and you are seeing the fetal movement. Okay, and you are also seeing the acceleration and deceleration, and baseline and baseline variability. Okay. Acha, when you will say acceleration, আগে ক্লাসে কিছু হয়েছে acceleration deceleration, when you will say, just I will do the quick revision. And actually, you don't need to go into the depth. You just need to know acceleration, deceleration, what is reassuring CTG, why you are doing this. Just you need to know that only. This is the machine, and this is the toco sensor. This is the cardio sensor, ultrasound transducer. This is the CTG recording. পেয়েছো? দেখো ও তো আছে, হ্যাঁ এটাই তো হ্যাঁ এটাই তো ছিঁড়ে গেছে, ঠিক আছে কাজ হয়ে যাবে। এটা না পিছনে ও সেলো টেপ লাগিয়ে দিলে। আর আছে কি? একটাই ছিল আমার মনে পড়ছে, আমি ওর ট্রেস এখানে স্টোর করতে বলেছিলাম, ওরা হারিয়ে দিয়েছে। ঠিক আছে, এটা দিয়ে হয়ে যাবে কাজ। থ্যাংক ইউ। So, what is features of a CTG? Why it occurs, how it occurs, I will show you later on. First, you need to know the baseline rate, okay, beats per minute. Baseline variability, that is more than 5 beats per minute normally. Acceleration, deceleration. And stimuli, response to the stimuli, that is contraction, how fetal heart rate is responding to the contraction and fetal movement, and other stimuli. So this is the fetal heart rate, and this is the contraction, uterine contraction. So it is classified into reassuring, non-reassuring, and abnormal. Okay. Baseline rate. Okay. A reassuring means if it is normal is between 110 to 160. What you will say the what is the normal fetal heart rate? 110 to 160 is the normal. Okay. Less than that, more than that will be abnormal. But that is particular term is given for that. Okay. If it is 100 to 110, it will be non-reassuring, not abnormal. The different terminology is there for the range. If it is 160 to 180, it is non-reassuring. If it is less than 100 or over more than 180, it is abnormal. Less than 100 is bradycardia, more than 180 is tachycardia. Baseline variability. If it is more than 5, it is reassuring. If it is less than 5 beats per minute variability, for 40 to 90 minutes, it is non-reassuring. It is the baseline variability is less than 5 for more than 90 minutes, that is abnormal. Deceleration, no deceleration is there, that is good, that is reassuring. If acceleration is present, it is good, reassuring. Early or variable deceleration will be under non-reassuring. I will tell you the details of that. And abnormal, late atypical variable deceleration will be in the abnormal. If acceleration are absent, that is of unknown significance. But if deceleration are present, like variable deceleration present more than for more time, then that will be important, and that will be that comes under abnormal or non-reassuring. So why does it occurs? There are some chemoreceptors and baroreceptors in the human body. and these are present in the fetus. Chemoreceptors, they respond to increase carbon dioxide and hypoxemia, stimulate parasympathetic nervous system to decrease the fetal heart rate. Okay. Gradual fall from baseline and delayed recovery will be there. Take longer to recovery to baseline. Okay, if chemoreceptors are stimulated. Mechanical baroreceptors, if any there is hypoxia, then chemoreceptors will be stimulated. So, and mechanical baroreceptors, these occurs when they are stimulated when there is compression of the umbilical artery. This causes increase in fetal systemic BP, increased systemic BP of the fetus stimulate the baroreceptors, and they send the impulse to the cardiac and inhibitory centers, and there will be sharp drop in the fetal heart rate. Usually 30 to 60 seconds it can last, but it will recover after 60 seconds. Recovery to the baseline, not of concern if baseline variability is reassuring. Okay. If there is decreased blood flow in the fetus, there is hypoxia, then respiratory and metabolic acidosis can be there, and redistribution of the blood flow to the vital organs will be there. There will be bradycardia, slightly decreased cardiac output, and decreased oxygen consumption in the fetus. If fetal heart rate variability is retained or increased, it is compensated state. Normal cortical function, cerebral oxygenation maintained can last up to 60 minutes in an experimental animal. But if fetal heart rate variability is decreased and there are there is late deceleration, this is decompensated state. There is decreased cerebral oxygenation, the fetus brain is not receiving the oxygen, eventually there will be the cellular damage. So this is the late response. Okay, this is the late response. Decompensated state occurs very late. Okay, and it compensated occurs early. Well oxygenated fetus demonstrate a stable baseline and variability. So, to control baseline fetal heart rate and variability, there are pacemakers in SA node. Obviously, you know there are pacemakers in SA node, conduction bundle, AV node. Their CNS is working, brain stem centers are there, chemoreceptor, baroreceptor are there, sympathetic and parasympathetic system is there. All these work together to produce this fetal heart rate tracing. Okay. Baseline heart rate is sum of result of these factors. Baseline variability is integration of sympathetic and parasympathetic input system. Okay, and according to the gestation age, baseline variability will be good or bad. The control of baseline fetal heart rate and variability. CNS activity, increased activity leads to increased variability of the heart rate. Chemoreceptors, obviously, already told you, hypoxia or hypercapnia will cause bradycardia, decrease in heart rate. Baroreceptors, increased arterial pressure will cause bradycardia. Sympathetic system, adrenal medulla, epinephrine, norepinephrine, that will cause the increase in heart rate. Parasympathetic system, obviously, will cause decrease in fetal heart rate. Here, how you will look for the baseline. Baseline, you will draw a imaginary line. The line will be passing through where most of the tracing is there. Suppose I am passing this line through here. Here most of the tracing is there. Here most of the tracing is there. So I can suppose the baseline of this patient is around 140. Okay, but there is acceleration also. You can see here acceleration is there. Here acceleration is there. So this tracing is 1 centimeter per minute. Okay. So suppose this is 1 centimeter per minute. So this small box is equal to 30 seconds. And what we call it as good acceleration, if the acceleration is rise of fetal heart rate is more than 15 beats per minute and lasting for more than 15 seconds. So here you can see it is lasting for approx one small box, that is 30 seconds. So it is lasting for more than 30 seconds, and here it is say 1 box, 2 box, 3 box. It is more than 15 seconds. So it is a good acceleration. So one small box in perpendicular in the vertical horizon is equal to 5 beats per minute. This is equal to 5 beats per minute. This is 120, this is 110, this is 100. Okay. So this is 105, this is 5 beats per minute. You can calculate by seeing this reading only. You can calculate. how much beat per minute is the small box. Okay, here it is 100, here it is 120, means कि समझ आया कुछ, समझ आया नहीं, यहाँ देखो, यहाँ देखो, this is 100, this is 110, समझ आया कुछ, तुमको बोल, are you able to understand? No, I'm asking you, what's your name? हाँ, are you able to understand what I'm telling you? What is this here? What is the fetal heart rate here? 100? 100? This is 100. This is 120. What is this? 110. Okay. What is this? So 100 and this is 105. That means this vertical small box is equal to 5 beats per minute. Okay. And horizontal small box is equal to 30 seconds per minute, because the speed of the paper is 1 centimeter per minute, but it will change if the speed changes. Okay. So this is a reassuring CTG. If the CTG is normal, no action is needed. If this is suspicious, means one non-reassuring feature is there, then conservative measures should be done. Pathological means कि one abnormal feature and two non-reassuring features are there. Then you have to do continue the fetal conservative management, and we can proceed to do fetal scalp sampling. Nowadays we don't do that. We will deliver the baby, expect the delivery of the baby. If the patient is dilated, so we will ask the patient to push. If there is full dilated, forceps can be applied. We can apply forceps of N2s. Or if patient is not dilated, patient is dilation is less, or is not in active labor or second stage of labor, then you can obviously do cesarean section if required. Not in all cases. Baseline fetal heart rate. The mean level of fetal heart rate when this is stable, excluding excitation distillation. Okay? The mean level, what I was telling you, you will draw an imaginary line. The mean level you have to see. According to that, you will say bradycardia is there or tachycardia is there. So reassuring 110 to 160, non-reassuring already told you 100 by 100 to 110 and 160 to 180. Abnormal less than 100 or more than 180. Tachycardia with reduced variability will cause due to early hypoxia. If reduced variability is there and tachycardia is there, then it is due to early hypoxia. This is baseline variation is there. Why we are saying variation, baseline variation? Because it is not a straight line. Suppose heart rate is 140, fetal heart rate is 140, but it is not on the only 140 level. It is sometimes it is 1 second you are saying it is in 140, the next second it is 120, next second it is 130. It is very variably. Variation is there. That's why baseline variability is seen. Why that is there? Because of the sympathetic and parasympathetic system working together. That's why variability is there. Here, good variability is there. Small box. I will tell you in this actual CTG tracing. Baseline tachycardia. Here, the baseline tachycardia is there. This is 180. The baseline is approx 180. Baseline fetal heart rate is around 180. So, what can be the causes of baseline tachycardia? If hypoxia is there, chorioamnitis is there, sepsis is there, maternal fever, maternal anxiety, maternal thyrotoxicosis, beta mimetic drugs, fetal anemia, heart failure, arrhythmia, or prematurity. What are the baseline? What are the causes of baseline bradycardia? If the patient is posed any drugs given, idiopathic arrhythmia is there, hypothermia, cord compression, acute hypoxia, and congenital heart disease or congenital heart block is there, then baseline bradycardia can be seen. Here the baseline is around 100. So this is bradycardia. Baseline variability, what comes? The minor fluctuation on the baseline fetal heart rate at 3 to 5 cycles beats per minute produces a baseline variability. The highest peak and lowest draw, these two are seen, and you can see the variability. Measure the highest peak and the lowest draw. Reassuring, if it is between 5 to 25 beats per minute, this is reassuring. That is, the fetal CNS system is working normally. If it is less than 5 beats per minute for 30 to 50 minutes, then it is non-reassuring. If it is more than 25 beats per minute for 15 to 25 minutes, it is non-reassuring. You don't need to remember all these reading, but for reading you need to know. Okay. Abnormal means if fetal heart rate variability is less than 5 beats per minute for lasting for more than 50 minutes, and variability is more than 25 beats per minute for less time. Means ki if variability is less, is lasting for more time, it is dangerous, and if variability is more and lasting for, compared to this, it is for lasting for less time, but as such variability of 25 beats per minute is dangerous. So that's why it is comes under abnormal. Parasympathetic affects short-term variability, while long-term is more sympathetic. CNS drugs reduce variability. High gestation increases variability. Mild hypoxia may cause both simultaneous parasympathetic stimulation. Reduced variability can be due to hypoxia, drugs, extreme prematurity, sleep, CNS abnormality. So, what is the cause of reduced variability? Hypoxia will be the main cause. Prematurity will be main cause, and sleep. Many times, if variability is less, a patient, you are seeing a patient, CTG is done, you see less variability. First, foremost thing was people suspect fetals might be sleeping. So you will try to stimulate it. You will stimulate the baby. You will ask the patient to take something, eat something. If that is not possible, you will start IV line. You will try and ask the patient to be in the left lateral line to stimulate the baby. Okay. The first and foremost thing you will suspect is normal thing, that is sleep. Sleep is normal. If every after that only variability is reduced, then you will suspect hypoxia. And obviously gestation age, you know, prematurity, obviously you will already know that it is a premature baby or term baby. And if any CNS abnormality is there, that can cause reduced variability. Here the variability is very less than 10 minutes over a period of time. So this is the just overview. Here this is the normal, moderate variability. This is minimal, less than 5 beats per minute. Here absent variability. This is a straight line, approximately straight line. Very less variability is there. And marked more than 25 beats per minute variability is there. Variability less than 5 beats per minute for 30 to 50 minutes is comes under non-reassuring. Okay. Now coming on to the exudation, third point. We studied the baseline. We studied the baseline variability. Now coming on to the acceleration, third point. It must be more than 15 beats per minute and lasting for more than 15 seconds above baseline. It should be more than 2 per 15 minutes. Suppose you are seeing the NST for 20 minutes. So there should be at least 2 acceleration for reassuring CTG. To call it reassuring, you have to see 2 acceleration over a period of 20 minutes. Say it is written 15 minutes, approximately same, 15 or 20 minutes, you have to see 2 accelerations. 2 acceleration with the same characteristics, 15 beats per minute and more than 15 seconds. Always reassuring when present, may not occur when fetus is sleeping, should occur in response to fetal movement or fetal stimulation. Non-reactive periods usually do not exceed 45 minutes. That means if there is no acceleration for approx 90 minutes, then also you will not worry. But if deceleration are present or reduced variability is there or increased variability is there, then you need to worry. Okay. This is the acceleration, already told you. Now coming to main important finding, decelerations. Okay. So there are 3 types of deceleration. You need to know: early deceleration, variable deceleration, late deceleration. Okay. Early deceleration occurs in head compression. Variable deceleration occurs in umbilical cord compression. Early deceleration head compression means during uterine contraction head is compressed. That's why early deceleration occurs. And in variable deceleration, there is umbilical cord compression that is not related to uterine contraction. That's why it is called as variable deceleration. And third is the late deceleration. It occurs mainly in cases of fetal hypoxia or uteroplacental insufficiency. Transient slowing of fetal heart rate below the baseline level of more than 50 beats per minute lasting for more than 15 seconds is called as deceleration. The definition is same, acceleration is above the baseline and deceleration is below the baseline. Okay. Here, this is early deceleration. So, the lowest point of the deceleration is called as nadir, and this is the onset of the deceleration, this is the recovery of deceleration, or the lowest point is known as nadir. So, you have to match the highest point of contraction with the nadir, that is known as nadir, deceleration lowest point. The gradual decrease in the heart rate with both onset and recovery coincident with the onset and recovery of contraction. That is, this is the mirror image. Early deceleration is the mirror image of the contraction. Whenever the contraction occurs, early deceleration will occur. That is a mirror image. So, nadir of the deceleration is 30 seconds or more after the onset of the deceleration. Means ki it is approx, nadir is approx 30 seconds after the peak of the deceleration. Or sorry, after the onset of the contraction. Okay. So, this is 30 seconds or more. The nadir is 30 seconds or more from the start of the contraction. This is early deceleration. This is the early deceleration here. This is the start of the contraction and this is the nadir. The difference is approx 30 seconds. Okay? Approx 30 seconds difference is there. This is also a early deceleration. This is mirror image of the contraction. Typically occurs as the head enters the pelvis and is compressed. It is due to vagal response, head compression. Now coming on to the late deceleration. It follows every contraction exhibits so return to the baseline. It is due to fetal hypoxia and is response to the hypoxic myocardium of the fetus. So here you can see this is the nadir and it is occurring after the peak of the contraction. Okay. Gradual decrease in the fetal heart rate, nadir in recovery occurring after the end of the contraction. When the contraction ends, the nadir is occurring. Nadir of deceleration occurs 30 seconds or more after the onset of deceleration. It is obviously more than 30 seconds, but the nadir is also after the peak of this contraction. Of the onset ki baat to ho hi raha hai, but it is occurring after the peak of the contraction. So this is late deceleration. I mean, the lowest point of the deceleration will fall after the peak of the contraction. And recovery is slow in the late deceleration. In early deceleration, recovery was fast. Whenever the contraction was weaned off, the recovery was there. Now coming on to the variable deceleration. Show no relationship with the contraction, it is mainly occurs in the cord compression. Without concerning feature and with concerning feature. The now variable deceleration depends on whether it is with concerning features or without concerning features. So what is concerning feature, I will tell you, but you don't need to remember all this, just listen it. But main you need to know how many types of deceleration are there, what is acceleration, what are the 4 categories you would need to see in the CTG. If the CTG is reassuring, non-reassuring, you need to know that. But whatever I am telling you right now, you just listen, but you don't need to remember everything. This is very difficult to remember everything, but just listen. You need to know that this exists, this thing are there. Just you need to know this. So what are the, this is the variable deceleration. Here, this is the onset, this is the nadir and this is the recovery. So, the onset of nadir is less than 30 seconds and many times it can be in between the contraction also. There is no relationship with the contraction in the variable deceleration because it occurs due to cord compression. So, what are the concerning features in the variable deceleration? If there is biphasic or W shape fetal heart rate tracing, if it is lasting for more than 60 seconds, okay, if it is lasting for more time, then it is concerning feature. We have to concern, we have to do something. If there is failure to return to the baseline, if the deceleration is going down, it is not returning to the normal baseline, that is, you need to worry. There is no shouldering. What is shouldering, I will tell you later on. And there is reduced variability within respiration. When you are seeing the tracing, there is obviously some variability in the deceleration also. It is not straight, this is not straight line like this, V, there is no straight V. Here it is also, there is variability in the deceleration. So here they want to tell us that there is reduced variability in the deceleration also. There is baseline, but in the deceleration also there is reduced variability. So what we am talking about, this is the Y phasing or W shaped CTG. Here it is lasting for more than 60 seconds. Okay. Is it lasting for more than 60 seconds? 30, 30, 30. Okay. More than 60 seconds. This is reduced. Here you can see. Here there is variability, but in the distillation there is no variability or less variability. So this is concerning feature. There is no variability in the distillation. And failure to return to the baseline. Here the distillation is occurring, but it is not coming back to the normal baseline. It is remaining in the lower point only. That is concerning feature. You have to be worried. And there is no shouldering. Now, what is shouldering? When there is cord compression or when there is contraction, uterine contraction, due to compression of the fetal vessels, umbilical vein and umbilical artery, there is stimulation of the sympathetic system on the starting. So that will cause the rise in the fetal heart rate before the distillation starts. And here there is distillation. And when coming back to the normal, what happens is that during the contraction, there is compression of the umbilical artery. You need to understand this. In the starting, there is compression of the, because the vein wall is thin, the vein wall is compressed, so it will stimulate the sympathetic system and will cause increase in heart rate before the distillation. When the contraction is peak, it will cause compression of the umbilical artery. Umbilical artery contraction will occur and will cause rise in the blood pressure, that will stimulate the baroreceptor that will cause the distillation. Okay. Now what happens is, when there is recovery is there, the contraction has weaned off, but because of the thin wall of the vein, the veins are still compressed. So it will again stimulate the sympathetic system and will cause sudden increase in the heart rate. So there is shouldering before and after weaning of the contraction and in the distillation. This is called as shouldering, means increase in the heart rate just before the onset and after the recovery of the distillation. This is known as shouldering. If shouldering is present, that is a good sign that fetal and ANS system is working fine. But if shouldering is absent, that means fetus ANS system is not working good. So this is a concerning feature. No shouldering. Here you can see there is no shouldering. There is normal. There is no increase in heart rate, and this is the normal shouldering. Increase in heart rate just before and after the wean of the contraction or distillation. Distillation that become longer, later and deeper are worrying sign. Okay. If a distillation is occurring more frequently with every contraction, is lasting for more time and is not coming back to normal, it is worrying sign. So you have to need to know this only. So bucket time, you can't remember all the time what I'm going to tell you, but you need to know ki longer it is persisting distillation, occurring more frequently and occurring for more amount of time. That is a concerning feature. Just you need to know that. Now this is sinusoidal pattern. There is no variability and there is loss of variability, and this is just wave-like pattern, sinusoidal pattern. This sinusoidal patterns occurs in fetal anemia or fetal hypoxia. Fetal anemia means RH incompatibility. Fetal anemia can occur. Severe fetal anemia or severe fetal hypoxia. Sinusoidal patterns occur. So this is normal CTG, you know, these are the findings. Now coming on to the, what are the non-reassuring features and what are the abnormal features. If CTG has all the three reassuring features, it is known as normal CTG. All the three meaning ki you don't measure the acceleration in these three things. You only see the baseline rate, baseline variability, these three things you need to see. If all these things falls under reassuring category, it is normal CTG. If one non-reassuring and two reassuring, it is suspicious. You have to be suspicious. And if one abnormal finding is there and two non-reassuring finding are there, then that is called as pathological CTG. You need to do some conservative management or do further testing, or you need to deliver the baby. Okay. So what comes from the non-reassuring? Obviously, fetal heart rate already told you between 100 to 110 and 160 to 180. And variable variability less than 5 for 30 to 50 minutes and more than 25 for 15 to 25 minutes. Variable distillation with no concerning characteristic. Concerning characteristic means whatever I told you, 4 things I told you, no shouldering, loss of variability in the distillation only, and not returning to normal baseline. So, with no concerning characteristic for over 90 minutes. Variable distillation with any concerning characteristic in up to 50% of the contraction. Like 6 contraction occurs, it only variable distillation occurs only in 3 contraction, and for 30 minutes or more. So that will be under non-reassuring category. Variable distillation with any concerning characteristic in over 50% of contraction for less than 30 minutes. अगर no concerning characteristic है for more than 30 minutes, then it will come on the non-reassuring. If with concerning characteristic है, uh, if it is present in less time only, then also it is concerning feature, because these are the concerning characteristics. If it is occurring for say 10 minutes, mein concerning features are coming, so that is troublesome. If there is no concerning characteristic and variable distillation lasting for 20 minutes, that is not that concerning. Okay, they need to tell this. And late distillation is over 50 minutes, 50% of contraction for less than 30 minutes, and with no maternal fetal clinical risk factors. So these all comes as a non-reassuring. Abnormal means ki variable distillation with any concerning characteristics for over 50% of contraction. Here were less than 30 minutes, and here time is more than 30 minutes. This is the difference between abnormal and non-reassuring. Late distillation for more than 30 minutes or with any maternal fetal critical risk factors. Bradycardia or single distillation over 3 minutes. So suppose the distillation is lasting for more than 3 minutes, that is obviously abnormal. So what if you see any suspicious CTG or a pathological CTG, what you need to do? What will you do? So if suppose suspicious CTG is there, you will inform the seniors and start conservative management. If pathological CTG is there, obviously you will exclude the cord prolapse, uterine rupture and abruption. These are the acute events. You have to you watch for that. If suppose you are calling the senior and cord prolapse is there, by the time senior will reach, already baby will be dead. So you have to look for these acute events which you can prevent. Cord prolapse, you will put your hand inside the vagina and you will push the head up, the compression will be released from the cord, and you will prepare the OT for the cesarean section. So you have to look for the acute events by the time senior is arriving. And start conservative management obviously, and investigate. You can do fetal scalp blood sampling, but nowadays we normally don't do that. Pathological CTG, if CTG remains pathological, you can do scalp stimulation. What is the conservative management? You will do left lateral lie, you will give IV fluids, you will reduce the contraction. If so you will see if fluid with oxytocin is there, you will stop the oxytocin. You will try to stop the contraction, or you can give terbutaline to stop the or decrease the contraction. And if patient is having fever, patient is having chorioamnitis, you have to give the paracetamol to decrease the fever. Okay, so these are the simple things you can do to save the baby by the time senior is arriving. So that's why you need to know this. Otherwise, details of this, how many times it is lasting, you don't need to remember all that, but you need to know what is distillation. If it is lasting for more time, that is concerning, you will call the senior. So you need to know the basic only. You don't need to remember the timing of all these things. Okay, just need to remember what is baseline, what is baseline variability, acceleration, deceleration, what is assuring, non-assuring, pathological. Okay, and what you need to do and what you will do in that patient, and what you will prepare for that. You can prepare the OT, ask the OT staff to be ready, or prepare the OT for the cesarean section by the time senior is arriving. Okay, this is our CTG from our machine. The tracing is here, it is written. You can read here. Here it is written. You have to see this graph. There can be different graph in different scenario. So here this graph you have to see. Here it is written. 1 centimeter per minute. Okay. So this is 1 minute. So small square is equal to 30 seconds. and this is 90, this is 120. Okay, so this is testing it different. What was given here, it is different over here. So this is 90, this is 100, this is 110. That means ki one small square is equal to 10 beats per minute. So here one small square equals to 10 beats per minute, and this small square equals to 30 seconds. Okay, so now when you are going to see this acceleration, so is this lasting for more than 15 seconds, sorry, 15 beats per minute? Is it lasting? Yes, obviously this is one small, this is 10 beats per minute according to this graph, and this is 20 beats per minute. It is more than 20 beats per minute. So this is lasting for more than 20 beats per minute. And how much time it is lasting? Obviously one small square 15 seconds, sorry, 30 seconds. So it is lasting for more than 15 seconds. It is lasting for approx 30 seconds. So it is good acceleration. Okay, so this is acceleration, and will you call this an acceleration? Bolo. This is larger, this is smaller. Will you call this an acceleration? Yes or no? Bolo. Why? It is lasting for 30 more than 30 seconds. And this is 10 beats per minute. This is 10 beats per minute. So this is good acceleration. Okay. But you will not call this one an acceleration. This is not an acceleration. This is an acceleration. तो पास आओ, चेयर हटा के आ जाओ पास. ये सब दूर से थोड़ी दिखेगा. This is not an acceleration. Okay, because this is lasting for increasing for just 10 beats per minute. So this is not a good acceleration. So as a whole, this graph is having baseline. What is the baseline heart rate? So you will draw an imaginary line passing from the most of the fetal heart rate. This one, this one, this one. This is passing over there. So this is approx 120 to 130, falling between 120 to 130. So this is normal fetal heart rate. Okay, this is falling between the normal range. What is the normal range? 110 to 160. So this is falling between the normal range. Now seeing the variability. So here variability is this one, this one. So this is lasting for increasing for half of this small square. Every variability. So is it lasting variability is more than 5 beats per minute in every beat. Okay. So the second point is checked. Third point is any acceleration. So there are one acceleration, two acceleration, this is also acceleration. So there are more than 3 acceleration in this tracing. So good acceleration is there. Any deceleration is there? See any deceleration. So this is reassuring CTG. Okay. Rest I have already shown you the deceleration. You can see this graph also. This is also reassuring CTG. 2 acceleration are there, but tracing is different in this one. Now tracing is same, but it is enlarged form of this one. That's why you see so large acceleration, but actually it is approximately the same size. This is 1 centimeter per minute tracing is there. Okay, and fetal movement, where you can see here, you can see here one fetal movement is there, and I can't see any more fetal movement. No, this is the fetal movement. Sorry, this is the fetal movement. There were many fetal movement, and there was no contraction in this patient. But this is for actually an NST. No contraction means it was not CTG. This was an NST.